Let's give it up for me and Brad. We're both we're both very obsessive. So sometimes, like for 1 year for Brad's birthday, I gave him a love coupon. And it was to rearrange.
This is all normal.
It sounds.
This is all normal.
Very hetero.
It was to go into his home when he wasn't there and to take all of his video game paraphernalia and organize it clearly so that he knew what was what and everything was.
Yeah.
And I did that.
He did it.
And that's the same thing as this. Like now he has the best names.
Not even close because none of those things went in your nose.
One of them did.
While Brad was watching.
Speaking of introducing people.
Please do this.
I'd like to introduce the Fun Bears, our Funbearable audience, to Katie Arroyo.
Hi.
What's up, Katie?
Oh, you know what? Let's take one step back.
Okay.
Yes.
Pretend you haven't heard about Katie Arroyo. Okay. Welcome to another episode of Funbearable.
Yes.
Because we didn't do that part.
We did not.
I want to have a green screen slate. And it's just like take one,
just
take
over
two,
and over and over and over.
Yeah.
take four.
My name's Ray
They
Harrington.
all start with Chuck with something up his fucking nose this episode.
My name is Chuck Stady.
There we go.
And my name is Brad Rohr.
And with us today, as Brad mentioned, please do.
Comedian, streamer, podcaster, and hero, Katie Arroyo.
Wow, I don't like that.
Hero to who?
Yeah, I know. That's what I want to know.
Almost
Don't worry about
everyone.
that part.
Almost everyone.
Almost
Yeah.
everyone.
A lot of people look up to Katie.
Not
Almost
children.
someone.
She
all right?
saved lives, probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
So let's
Yeah.
pull back the curtain. We're here. It's Ray's headlining weekend, and Katie is the feature.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Katie has kind of been a friend of ours for a few years now. Katie was on the Wicked Funny podcast. Didn't you have another podcast too before?
Yeah.
Did you?
What was it? Give me your podcast
Pinky
history.
Promise.
Yeah.
Pinky Promise. That's what it was.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And that was fun.
It was very fun.
They were all fun.
Were
Yeah.
you
Keep going.
about to say the Wicked Pumpy podcast?
You were.
Because it's October.
Yes.
I wish
When we
I
record
was on-
Pumpy?
I wish I was on the Wicked Pumpy podcast.
Oh my God.
No time like the present.
Welcome to the Wicked Pumpy podcast.
I was just picturing.
Let's get
and
pumpy.
Chuck's there with some Sinex,
pumping
and he's
stuff
pumping
into
it.
his nose.
Oh yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
People would listen.
Today's episode, pennies. How many can I get up there?
How many pennies can I pump in my proboscis?
I like that you get to 10 and you're like,
Try it.
now I'm taking those out and I'm putting a dime in and we'll go from there. 11.
Brad, did you want to
12.
put the pennies in your nose?
Yeah. Do you want to suck on these pennies that were in my nose?
I've been criticized for having large nostrils. It hurts, but
Oh, it wasn't really about the
No,
size.
it's not the size of the
Nobody
nostrils.
cares.
It's
about
not the size of the
nostrils.
nostril.
Yeah.
It's the motion of the nostril.
So Katie,
Yes.
tell me about your podcast history.
So,
Because we've done a lot of podcasts.
A lot
together.
of podcasts. Yeah.
I think if we just took the three of us and Katie and put it on its own podcast feed of every time we've appeared together on microphone,
it could make its own podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Katie and the Fun Bears.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good name.
That's a band that I'm like, I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna beat the traffic. You know.
We're opening for like another cover band. We're not quite there yet.
When
We
did you
can't
leave?
headline.
When did you leave during the set? It was when they went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I was out by 4.
Yeah.
Ray's like, I read it when I saw her name on the poster.
A woman leading? What is this? What is this? Every other leading country in the world? That's crazy.
Ladies can't play music. They're sad.
It'll make them dizzy. They'll get so dizzy up there trying to play their chords.
They're in hysterics.
Yeah, they can maybe do a G, maybe a C, but once you get into an A minor, they're on the ground. They don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the voices is, but this is
There's a little couch on stage in case they have
We have
to
to
faint.
rest.
a fancy couch.
Yeah, they're
a
tired.
chaise longue, if
Yeah.
you will.
No, tell us about the podcast history. I want to know.
Yeah, we had the Wicked Funny podcast. Have you had Brian Bowden on?
Not yet, but we want to.
Okay.
And Frank Kazero.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun on the Wicked Funny podcast, all three of us as well,
Yeah.
and you were on a ton of episodes with us.
That's a podcast that I would say, I don't know, how would you guys describe that one? Chaotic?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
it's
fun.
fun.
It's a great
It's
one.
fun. It's very it's it's comedy based. Obviously, a
Yeah.
lot of comics are on it.
It's Brian Bowden's head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
exactly.
it's Brian Bowden's mind.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and you go stomping through there. Wear some galoshes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I wear the pith helmet.
Good move, good move.
and then it was Pinky Promise.
Pinky Promise, that one was super fun. We've actually just left it up in case we record again.
Was
and
that
we keep getting
with Laura
listens.
Manasowicz?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we just do basically funny stories from people's childhood.
Right.
And
yeah, that was great.
It keeps getting like listens, and we keep getting messages. So I was like, oh, we'll just keep it up, and then if we start recording again, we'll release them.
That's fun.
And then Chuck was just a guest on my most recent podcast, The Messy Show.
Yep.
And that is...
It was about his nasal hygiene.
It was. Yeah. I wish.
That would be the clean show.
Yeah.
The clean is a whistle
hover,
show.
Brad.
Actually, how about that?
Yes.
Is it? Do you have a podcast called The Pushy Show?
Yeah.
I
wish. Wicked pushy
Chuck
podcast.
pushed his way onto that one.
Yeah.
That was great. No,
Wicked Pushy makes me think of
so
something
funny.
else.
Yeah.
I was on the Messy Show. I think it really damaged one of the relationships I
Oh,
was in.
yeah.
Oh, man.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Which
The
is strange.
listeners liked it, though.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of fun. It was
Yeah.
fun. You really called me on a lot of shit. Fair, not fair. Who's to say?
He's like, I brought you here to kill you. I don't like the way I was portrayed on your podcast.
No, it was great.
Bitch.
It's just you. Yeah, it was really fun. It was
So
good times.
you've had a history of kind of starting and then ending podcasts. When are
Yeah, I
you
have
going to end the Messy
ADHD.
Show?
I'm
When
going to
are you
end this
ending?
podcast in
Yes.
like 6 minutes.
Can I give you a nice, fun tip?
Yeah.
This is a tip if you want to do it. You should do like special episodes of the Messy Show that are the Pinky Promise podcast and put them up on the
Yeah.
other feed as well.
Oh, yeah.
and
that
then
is
bring
a good
people
idea.
over.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Because we're doing that a little bit with the Chuck and Brad
Are you
podcast.
guys?
We're doing
I'm-
previews of the Funbearable stuff, and sometimes we put up clips, and I like host them. And I'll be
Oh,
like, oh,
that's
come on
nice.
over. Or we're pulling stuff from the Chuck and Brad podcast that all three of us were on. We're pulling it over.
Or
It's kinda fun.
We have some Ray Harrington must content stuff.
Yeah, that's coming up
Oh.
November 5th. We're going to put up.
I was
or November
on
3rd.
Ray's podcast.
One of the two.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you were on Ray Harrington Must Content, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were you ever on the
That
Chuck and
was
Brad podcast? No, right?
No.
I kept
never
saying,
got
whenever you wanna come on.
invited.
But now we're correcting
did
the
invite
problem. We're correcting the problem because now you're here. You're
Yes.
on Funbearable,
Right. Yeah.
and you made a special trip here on your motorcycle to be on the show. We really appreciate that.
I stopped
you know?
hanging out with the cool guys for 1 hour.
See, that's the interesting part. Is like you
over
used to
here.
be. I know yesterday you were dressed like nicely, and everything was fine. And you were kind of more prim and proper, and then you were trying to impress this guy. And
I
then
started
suddenly you
smoking
showed up
cigarettes
in leather,
today.
yeah, and you had a
Yeah.
cigarette.
Oh my
It's-
gosh!
yeah,
she
that was-
walked past
yeah.
the jukebox. Boom.
Yeah,
Song
that was
comes
interesting.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Richie does have more confidence now.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you were here.
You're welcome.
But
I'm gonna smash a beer can into my forehead on stage tonight.
it was good.
During Ray's set, though.
It
Please,
was
yes.
it was helpful because I wanted a cigarette, so she just slid down her sleeve.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
rolled it
up.
out. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
It was
I
weird
like
that she made you put it out on your hand, though.
He likes it.
Yeah, I do.
Oh
It's
yeah, it was
fun.
a whole sexual thing.
I
It
was like,
weird.
I'm just gonna hover.
Yeah.
It's fine. Just a hover.
No, it still burns so bad. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, it was great. We had a fun time last night. There was a couple shows here at the Comedy Connection, East Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And tonight, this is like what, an hour and a half before the show tonight.
It is 50 minutes before the
Yeah.
first show.
Well, hey,
Hey,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
And,
Time flies.
time flies.
But
when
no,
you're
we'll
having
have fun, and it'll be a good fun.
Yes.
It'll be a fun, and we'll have a fun.
Yeah.
And there'll be a fun.
Yeah.
And we'll do a fun. And then at the end, I think we'll all feel fun.
I think so.
I'm
Do you
telling
think
myself
you'll
that.
feel fun?
Yeah, Ray is.
No.
Okay, yeah.
I'm in a bad place.
Ray-
I'm in a
know.
very bad
There was
place.
the crowd last night was a little bit not a comedy crowd.
Well, the first
The
show
first show,
was fine.
great.
Everything was
First
fine.
show was great.
First
Yeah.
show, that was fun.
The second show
the
felt
second
more
show-
like people were drunk at a carnival and then they were just transported through time into this
Yeah,
room.
and they were like,
Yeah.
"Can we throw baloney on that
The
big
second
man
show,
on the stage?"
The second show inspired me to buy this jacket. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
fucking kill anybody that acts like that second show.
I'm turning evil.
It was horrible, and like I love stand-up comedy. It's what I do for a living,
Yes.
and I enjoy it. And there's I think there's an emotional connection to that thing and an appreciation for it. And this show, the second show last night, was genuinely the worst show I've experienced in 10 years.
I know you said that.
Truly. Like I walked off stage like just furious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So angry because the crowd, not only was the crowd bad, and I didn't want to talk about this, but
I
here
know,
we
I
are.
know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of snap out of it, but I don't think I can. I think I'm just ready to.
We're gonna snap.
I
We're
will.
gonna snap.
I'll shove a toddler. I'll fucking shove
Do,
a
do,
toddler.
you,
Yeah.
do, you,
Past
do you want
is
something up your
through it.
nose? Because Chuck's got a whole sack of things.
Yeah, we've got it. If you
I
want to
really-
shove
nose
something
sack.
somewhere.
Yeah, my
But no,
sinus sack.
it was so bad. They were like, it was a crowd where, I feel spoiled. I feel spoiled because most shows are fun for me.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of hecklers, and I appreciate that.
Right.
And, I try and turn things into a fun thing because I'm not an aggressive comic. I like to just do my fun stuff, right?
goofs.
Yeah, my goofs and spoofs and whatnots. But this audience, they didn't want
Anything. I don't know
they
what
didn't
they
want
wanted. I think they wanted us to
stand-up.
go
They didn't.
away.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
want bits. They didn't want jokes.
Yeah.
and then they just wanted you to like shit on the crowd. But then if you're talking to somebody, they're not giving you anything because they're
Right.
like, "Well, I don't want you to shit on me," and I'm like, "I'm not trying to." You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And
I know.
it got so antagonistic. At one point, like we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
I was going into a setup of a joke, and this woman just blurts out, "You're a liar," and I was like, "What is going? Why? What is?" And like the beginning of the joke isn't like, so I was hanging out with Ryan Gosling last night, and it was a good time. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
just so
Right.
weird. Later on, somebody mentioned a Snickers bar. I was trying to do a thing, and another woman entirely just blurs out, "I hate peanuts. I hate them." And it was
Didn't you
just,
say I hate nuts?
I hate
too?
nuts. I hate nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. It was just
I mean,
so
that's a
fucking
wide
weird.
variety
I
of things
know.
to hate. Like
Hazel.
different textures,
Yeah.
almonds,
Yeah.
cashews.
Ball
That
sacks,
woman.
See, that's one of them.
Yeah.
Just a pure
Yeah.
nightmare show where like
I hate ball sacks,
15
too.
minutes in, I looked at my watch and I was just like, I'm going to keep fucking talking. I'm
Yeah.
just going to keep talking.
Yeah.
And it was bad, and I'm still angry.
That's
and
all right.
I'm
We're gonna have a great.
bitter.
You're gonna have a great show tonight. We're gonna have fun in
I'm
here.
gonna fucking quit
Then you're gonna
comedy
go
at the end of
upstairs.
this
You're gonna knock
night.
him dead. Knock him dead with your comedy guns. That's what you always say. I
Yeah.
knocked him dead
I
with my
always
comedy
say that.
guns.
I do always say that.
He's always saying
Whenever
that.
I think I'm having like a tough time, just to build confidence, or if it's an important show, I'll do a finger gun,
I've
but I'll
seen him
keep
do
it in my
it.
pocket.
Well,
Well,
you
because
know it's there.
Then I know it's there,
He
and
text-
I feel more secure knowing
afterwards-
I have a concealed weapon.
He,
You know?
Yeah.
he sends me a text always, and it's just hashtag
Always.
knocked him dead, and it's a hand like this, hand like this, hand like this, hand like this, and I'm
On
like, I know what that
stage.
means.
When
yeah.
he gets off stage, he's
Yeah.
like, "Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Ray Harrington."
Yeah, and they're very confused by it.
That's
They're
why
like,
she
"What
wore
was that?"
her jacket because she wants to be part of it somehow.
If tonight goes poorly, you've got Sylvester Stallone in Cobra here with you.
Do you know the worst part of this jacket is I text my
Yeah,
friend,
I do.
go,
I can see it.
I bought the cutest little jacket, and then I go, but I don't know if I'm going to be a leather jacket comedian. And now I'm like, I'm definitely going to do it.
Hickory dickory dock. I just can't wait to see how you finish.
So
that. It's gonna
when
be
when
good.
you find John Connor, what are you going to do to him?
He's already dead.
Thank you for being
then I
here. Yeah, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry to do
When
this.
I see him, I'm
Yeah.
going to be like, do you want to use my nasal spray? It's
Right,
just a
right.
hover.
Yeah. Now,
Hi, Comedy Connection crowd. I'm Katie Arroyo. Come with me if you want to live.
I remember when I met. I remember when I met Katie, and she was like, "I want your shoes, your
so
boots, and your
bad right
motorcycle." This is fun. I like this. Thanks for being on the show. I really do
I did
appreciate
this
it.
for you.
Now tell me about when you ran security for Rolling Stones. It went bad. It went
By the way,
bad, right?
Just let's pull the curtain back. Whenever Ray has
We already pulled it back. We
I know, I got another curtain, secondary
There's
curtain.
another curtain.
Whenever Ray
just
has
curtains all the way down.
Whenever
Okay.
Ray has a bad show, I call our next podcast guest and I'm like, "Can you wear something fucking
Funny?
ridiculous?"
And you know what? Maybe that's true because I usually don't have a bad show. It's not an
I
ego
know.
thing. I'm not trying to say like I'm fucking great, but it is like it's
No, last
rare
night was,
for me to have that.
Well, last
That
night was strangely bad.
it was an anomaly.
It was
and
the
it was very
worst time
strange.
I've ever seen Ray have on stage.
Yeah.
And not
You
even the
didn't
worst
know me
show.
earlier.
Yeah.
The truly the worst show had a lot of leather.
Yeah, it was you've talked about this with us. It was a show in the round, right?
was like a Chaps convention.
It was
Yeah.
opening for Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yes.
In Theater in the Round, sold out show. No one knew there was stand up. It just said on the marquee, Lynyrd Skynyrd sold out, and I'm supposed to open for them. And I go up there to do a sound check, and I'm
You
like,
should have worn my jacket.
I should have worn a fucking white hood. It was.
You could have borrowed that from me.
No, it was a sea of Confederate flags, like cut off denim and stuff like that for Lynyrd Skynyrd, of course. And I asked the sound guy, like, how are people going to see me behind the speaker stacks and stuff? And he's like, it's fine. The stage is going to revolve. So
they will eventually see you.
It was a nightmare. I did 30 minutes, 25 minutes or something like that. And Theater in the Round, sold out show. No one knew it was stand up while the stage was slowly revolving.
Oh my God.
It was a perfect nightmare. And it was a show where like 5 minutes in, I was like, I'd like to rip up the check. I want to go home. But I couldn't walk off the stage.
Yeah.
Right, because you're so far away from the stairs.
Like, where's the door to leave?
Right, exactly.
Otherwise, I'm like, and we're going to just go over to the...
You're like, how long will it take to spin back to the
There's
stairs?
the stairs.
So I can
Okay,
leave?
bye. But yeah, that was the worst show I've ever done.
Fuck you.
But this was, at least that I was able to just be like, bye. You know what I mean? This was like, well, we're gonna sit in this for 45 fucking minutes. I'm gonna hit 45. Out of a sense of fuck you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Why did Lynyrd Skynyrd want you to open for them so bad?
What was the thought process?
So I got a call from Lynyrd.
Lynyrd or
from
Skynyrd?
What did Lynyrd
From Lynyrd.
say?
Skynyrd died in the airplane.
Crash.
This is his jacket.
That's
I
vintage.
bought it at an auction.
It was draped around the black box.
And I was like, give it to me.
And no, it was a situation where this venue that is a Theater in the Round place, they would often request a comedian to open for a band, because it's Theater in the Round. So there's no way to switch the instruments. You can't like load and unload.
It's easier for a comedian just to have a microphone and that's
leave.
it.
Yeah, you just walk up and go, hi, everybody, blah, 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 and then you leave. And so everything's already set up and you don't have to touch anything.
Right.
And when I went up the stairs, like people are like high-fiving me and shit, and I'm like, please put your fucking hands down. And I get up to the top, and the guy that was running the whole thing, he's just like, great job. You didn't say fuck at all. That's good. It was just keep it clean. All he cared about was like, go up, talk, just do whatever the hell you're gonna do.
I would love.
Don't swear.
I would love if like you're like, I want to give everyone a high five. Just put your hands out and you lay down on the stage like that.
And it's
And
the
waited,
slowest
and
high
it's
five.
so slow.
So
like
slow.
You make contact, but then you don't move.
Yeah.
Like, so you're
It's
still
just-
making
it's more of a
contact.
romantic
Yeah,
song.
you're just like,
It was such a nightmare. It was such a nightmare because like I got introduced
I would
on
buy
that
a ticket
show
for that.
for the person that was introducing is like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, blah blah blah, Ray Harrington.
Yeah.
And I walked up and there was no like he's gonna do stand up or anything like that. So they really thought like I was some like radio DJ that's just
Wouldn't
like,
shut up.
you know, we set up this show. Thanks for coming out. Here comes Lynyrd Skynyrd, right? That was not the case. It
And
was
you were
not the
like,
case.
but first, I wanted a really fun date with my wife.
Yeah, here comes some word-based jokes, right? You guys ready for this? Oh,
You guys know about
it was a
Groupon?
nightmare. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was truly a nightmare. It was like a blackout
Did
situation.
you bomb or were they laughing at all? You have no idea.
I have no idea.
You were
All I
just
know
like,
is that
this
I
is
could
awful.
see people laughing,
you
but I
go.
couldn't hear them laughing.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny for
Because
this?
there were more people talking. You know what I mean? And it was like that. And like people high-fived and stuff, but it was just a pure nightmare. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny about comedy in that? It's like you're saying the setup to different people than you're saying the punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's really
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, how you
interesting.
doing? All right, I'll see you in a minute.
You're
you know
like,
what I mean?
Did
Yeah.
you hear that last part? I got them. Wait till you hear the rest
Yeah,
of
and this
it.
is the band that plays Freebird. Right?
Yeah,
This is the
yeah,
band that
yeah.
plays Freebird, and Freebird is the cliche thing you yell out.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was just, to hear like the chatter slowly rise.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
No.
I don't want to talk about This feels like a support group where
I
I'm like,
actually have a thing
here
I
are
wanted
the
to-
5 times that I've
I
hated
wanted to talk to
comedy.
you about something actually.
Uh-oh.
I wanted to talk to you guys about something.
Okay. I don't know. He didn't tell me what it
Well, this
is.
is just.
you
an-
want me to try on her jacket to
I
see if it's
I
real
actually
leather?
would
Okay.
love that.
Yeah.
It's
It's not.
not.
Yeah.
It's cruelty free.
Is it?
It's
Yeah.
cruelty
leather?
free.
Not at this table, but the jacket
That's good.
This table,
Funny.
cruelty full
is. Just
here.
the jacket.
We saved the cruelty
Katie.
for this podcast.
There's a victim. There's a victim.
Yeah, our audience.
Not me.
My eyes.
I'm the victim.
Oh, just another woman in a leather jacket going, I'm the victim.
We listened to your sob story for 18 minutes.
No, what I wanted to say, one thing we kind of haven't talked about that I would like to bring up.
Yeah, what do you want to bring up?
So this podcast, we started doing it and we hit the ground running. We had a lot of guests. We had a lot of fun right away. Mm-hmm. We never really talked about the fact that our podcast is mostly going to be based in Rhode Island. And that's kind of where we have done all this stuff, where we do live shows, where you do live shows, where most of our guests are going to do live shows, stuff like that. And I
wanted it to be Venezuela.
Yeah,
I voted Venezuela.
Socialist. Well, what we did was we spun a globe,
what kind of
and then we all threw.
They have like a flirting with fascism government.
Yeah. I thought
like their leaders
Fascism
always like.
light.
I'm sorry to step on Chuck's joke about spinning a globe
and throwing a dart.
And it just happens to all of our darts landed in Rhode Island.
Thank God we already live here.
So lucky.
But I'm in New York about half the time, and I have the house here, and then you guys live in Rhode Island.
And listeners, if you missed that, he has 2 homes.
Yes.
Oh, they didn't miss it. He tells everybody every episode. I have 2 homes.
Here I am recording from one of my 2 homes.
So, but one of the things I was thinking about is, we all came up here with very different stories. Like Brad has been involved in the improv scene here for 12 years.
15.
15. I've been in a band for a long time. Obviously, I kind of switched over more to podcasting, filmmaking, comedy.
Yeah.
But I was in a band actively for 15 years. Ray's been doing stand up as well as podcasts, all that kind of stuff. And this is where the podcast is.
I made a movie.
And you made a movie. Yeah, that's right. And you shot the movie here
too.
too.
I made a person.
You did make a person.
I did make a person.
How much did you really do?
Half.
Oh, I made a person.
I'm helping turn this thing into a real person. So
I'm close.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah.
You're like an
Chuck
emotional
is making
Pinocchio.
A man.
You're an emotional Pinocchio.
I am an emotional
Hold on, let's take it again.
Emotional
Let's take it
Pinocchio.
again because it's too good of a joke and everybody's cross talking for the entire episode.
Okay,
so let's do this
go
joke
ahead.
one more
Okay,
time. You ready?
good. Yeah.
Yeah, you are like an emotional Pinocchio.
I am somewhat of an
It hits different when we're all listening.
Yeah, emotional Pinocchio. That's the name of the episode.
Emotional Pinocchio.
So
Pinocchio Minocchio.
yeah, that is
I'm
kind
having
of
a
a
stroke.
tongue twister.
Guys, I'm going to die.
Emotional Pinocchio.
Pinocchio Pinocchio. And then I saw...
Yeah, there you go. That's
And
where
then
I was
I
going.
saw a little emotional Pinocchio eating a pistachio. And a mustachioed emotional Pinocchio eating pistachio.
I love emotional Pinocchio. That's so great. And I'm Geppetto.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, you're not Geppetto.
This is
I'm
who
the
is
hot
molding me
goldfish.
and shaping me. Yes.
You're the kid that took Pinocchio on that crazy adventure and turned him into a
Into the
fucking donkey.
Yeah.
Chuck is the most likely to take
I'm
me.
smoking
Is it Pleasure
cigarette-
Island?
Yeah, Pleasure
Was it
Island.
Pleasure
Yeah.
First of all,
Island?
Yeah, that's what he
Fuck
calls
yeah.
his second home.
So
The first
anyway,
one is
I guess
Pleasure Peninsula. So it's
So does that make me Jiminy Cricket?
no.
No.
wait,
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, no worries.
I didn't even want her to do it.
Open your mouth and we're just gonna sail inside by accident.
Oh, you can go fuck yourself.
I was
Boo.
trying to get you to be the Blue Fairy.
Thank you.
Ray was going to be the Blue Fairy
Alright.
in mine.
So
Speaking of
Anyway.
blue fairies, I know a particular blue fairy that likes to deliver blue treats wherever you go.
Ooh, good.
are they still our sponsor?
I don't know.
So anyway, what I wanted to talk about was, I'm back this week in Rhode Island we recorded a podcast on Wednesday. We're going to go to Connecticut tomorrow, record some Halloween stuff. Obviously, you're headlining this weekend.
And this is
Katie's
coming
headlining.
out after Halloween.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, we're back to do a bunch of stuff. And today I said to Brad, I was like, oh, there's this new event in Providence, Rhode Island called Little City Thrifty. And it's basically this monstrous...
Is that a TLC show with little
It
people?
sounds like one, doesn't
Little
it?
City
Yeah.
Thrifty?
I'd watch it.
Little people running a thrift shop? Are you
And they
kidding
fall
me?
in love.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
fight.
Little City Thrifty.
Little City Thrifty?
It is
I would
it is a
definitely
TLC
watch
show.
that.
This was just not related to that. This
Yeah.
is completely separate.
But I want
So-
to live in that for a
Major
minute.
coincidence.
I really do. I want to bring my clothes to the Little City Thrifty and watch them hold them up, but they're still laying on the ground. You know what I mean?
They're
They
gonna
hold
be-
the shirt as high as they can,
Yeah.
but it's straight.
They hold his pants out and they go, we have sales for our sailboats. Come on, that was fun.
It wasn't fun. You crossed the line,
Wow,
Chuck.
rude.
You crossed. Everybody felt
Everyone
it.
else
And
is
they went,
making
wow.
jokes about how your clothes are big, and then I make one, and it's not okay.
No.
Well, what? I don't know how that worked.
No,
Chuck's
you know
like,
why?
"It was
Because you
just
kind of
over."
hearkened back to calling me a fucking whale.
I meant you were
eats a wooden
dangerous.
boy.
I meant you were
All right?
dangerous.
I meant you were dangerous. You had a leather jacket.
Like a big, strong, dangerous boy.
So anyway,
Little city thrifty.
well, what
Little
I was
city.
thinking about
Lil
was
City Thrift.
Little City Thrifty.
we have these
Wednesdays
backgrounds
at 9
here.
p.m.
Yes, we have these backgrounds here where it's like music scene, improv scene, stand-up comedy, and film for all of us as well. What are you going to say? Go ahead. What's your joke? I can't get a sentence out. Right? What is it?
None of us
That's
can.
great.
I've been cut off 30 times, 400 times. It is a talk over everybody episode. I said that already.
All right.
If you're frustrated, I was already there. Don't worry. Today fucking sucks. My joke was going to be when you said, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. or whatever it was going to be, all I imagined was hearing, I can't even lift it. And that's it. That was it. That was the whole
Well, I'm
thing.
glad we paused for that.
Yeah. Brad's
way-
thrilled with it.
By the way, that joke that works even over just the title of the show. You don't get to see what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
So anyway,
All right, sorry.
No, it's
Anyway,
okay.
Listen, I apologize for my attitude.
No. So we all have this eclectic history with a lot of different people that are involved, like musicians, comedians, improv people, film people, whatever.
Yeah.
And Providence, Rhode Island, I think has a lot of creativity in it, and there's a lot of like actual analyzation of why that is, because RISD is based here, which is the top design school in the country. There's a lot of culinary schools here. Like I write for some of the magazines for like the restaurant scene, and there's just a lot of creativity here. And I was like, oh, let's go to Little City Thrifty. I'm like, I like, secondhand clothing, different things like that. But what there's a lot of too are like companies that make their own designs and produce their own clothing. Like I'm wearing right now, this is from Hungry Ghost Press. They made this for this fall.
Oh, very nice. I like it.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I saw a ton of that stuff today.
October.
Yeah.
It says October.
I like that. I like October.
Yeah.
It sounds almost like a racial thing.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Let's get close.
Yeah. But what I was thinking
Depends
is
on what letter you put first.
I was looking at all the designs, yes, and I was looking at all the designs, and like they had great ones. They had one that was the Ramones thing, but it said calzones, and instead of all the names, it had cheese, meat, sauce, whatever. It was great,
Dope.
a lot of good stuff. And I was like, wouldn't it be fun if we did some designs that were Funbearable collaborations with some of the artists in Providence?
Yeah,
So
sure.
instead of just like, here's some t-shirts, here's our new t-shirts, I think it'd be more fun to find people like Bad Taste, who is great company that makes super great stuff, and put like a Bad Taste Funbearable collaboration from
Yeah.
where we're from in Providence, Rhode Island, and we come up with a specific thing from this artist, and we find different artists.
Yeah.
And this kind of harkens back. The other day we did a podcast where we were talking about the definition of the word ghoul, and Ray said, "I pity the ghoul." I think it was Ray.
Yes.
And there's
Mr. T.
There's a guy named Kenny Urbanus in like the Netherlands, and he's an artist, and he's awesome, and he's been a listener of our show and a listener of some of the other shows that I work with. And I wrote to him, and I was like, "Hey, man, if you're just, this is just a fun idea. We said I pity the ghoul. I didn't know if maybe you wanted to come up with something." And he like immediately, like within 12 hours, drew us this amazing cartoon of Mr. T as a ghost with "I pity
As
the
a
ghoul,
ghoul.
Funbearable
As a ghoul.
And a ghoul is, as you said, it just denotes monsters of some kind.
Well, I remember saying that in that episode that I would Google it.
Well, let's talk about that in a second. Let's not interrupt this flow. So he wrote this thing.
We're not interrupting.
I'm trying to get to
Ray.
the end of a thought.
Okay.
So he made this thing, and I was like, man, like this isn't just
Trying
like
to find the end of it.
this isn't just like it's not just like, oh, this is a Funbearable thing.
Yeah.
We're hovering right near the
This
end.
is like a Funbearable and Kenny Urbanus thing.
Right,
Because
yeah.
it was so much of his artistic eye and the way that he draws. It was
100%,
all about
yeah.
his. So I'm like, man, doing collaborations with different artists
Collabs, baby.
is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun at the Little City Thrifty thing today. And I'd love to work with some of the Providence artists as well to do some of these collaborations.
I'm 100% on board.
And it'd be cool. I just thought about the fact that Funbearable, we've never really talked about the fact that Rhode Island is basically our home for this podcast. And like obviously New York is kind of our second home because we go there and do stuff there a lot.
And Venezuela's still on the table.
2 homes. I still have 2 homes. You guys have 1 home each. It's 4 homes between us.
I only have half a home.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what I call that fucking thing.
I want to collaborate with artists. I want to get like patches that would go on a leather jacket.
Yeah.
But I don't know where to find a leather jacket.
A model.
Yeah.
A model.
I'll hook you up.
But Can they make stuff out of metal studs?
But yeah, we had a lot of fun today, and I just wanted to bring that up because like Bad Taste is so great. Hungry Ghost Press, they have their own. Hey, listen.
It's okay. Everything's fine.
We got to the end of
We got to the end of it.
But Hungry Ghost Press, I've never been there. They have their own storefront in Providence. We went there afterwards today, and it was like incredible. The designs they have are awesome and eclectic, and I was just so impressed.
I love it.
And I talked to the owner of Bad Taste today, and I said, "Hey, man, like we met before." And he's like, I know you're Chuck from the podcast. I'm like, yeah. I was like, what do you think about doing a Funbearable collaboration? He said, I'm 100% in. So I was very excited for that. I thought that was a cool thing. And I brought some stuff to show you afterwards.
Okay, cool.
Because there's some great stuff from, and maybe we'll put it up on the screen. Bad Taste and Hungry Ghost Press, both excellent out of Providence. Check them out.
Sure.
But yeah, shirts from Hungry Ghost.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it was fun.
And maybe one could be like, sorry for my attitude, Funbearable. You know what I mean? Like something like that, right? Yeah.
Have you said
Or
sorry?
I'm trying to finish a fucking sentence.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like something like that.
Chuck's trying to raise awareness for artists, and Ray wants to step on it. You know, one of those kind of shirts or something like that.
Or Ray tried to say 40 different sentences, and you were just blathering on about nose shit. You know what I mean? Let's clear the mics, and we'll just have a wrestle fight. You want to wrestle? You want to wrestle?
No, you're gonna win.
Let's do a kissing contest. I'll do whatever.
I'll judge.
Yeah. I'm gonna suck the Vicks out of your nose.
Would you do a kissing booth? I know you're married, but would you do a kissing booth?
On which side of the booth would I be?
You're the kiss. You're
in the booth.
You're the kiss.
Kiss.
I guess you're selling kisses.
I'm selling kisses.
Would you sell a kiss?
Oh, I don't think I could do it because I think I would be too afraid that no one would buy the kiss.
You got to put yourself out there. Yeah, that's
I'd
tough.
buy a kiss.
In college, my senior year, we did a date auction for all the RAs in the building, and the idea was
including you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't want to hear the story.
Including and basically
Can you let him finish?
We said
no, we don't do that here. It's like not our whole thing.
It would be like a group date, like a group party, so that it's not an awkward situation where like creepy Brad is like, Katie's the RA. I'm gonna pay money to hang out with Katie and put her in that situation.
Yeah.
But I was, because they went by like floors, so like ground floor up to the top floor, which is where I was an RA. So I was the last RA to go.
No.
I think and I was like, I need some sizzle because I got no steak. And so I made them turn the lights out. I played, I think it was Chris Jericho, the wrestler's music. I had like a bizarre like flame shirt, and I came in.
Oh no!
Do
And
you have video of this?
No, this would have been
pre-video, pre-VHS.
I think you can find a clip of it on eBaum's work.
There is a Betamax copy.
It's 240 by 180.
I saw this on Pornhub. Yeah, go on.
And it's so sad.
Oh my gosh!
This was the subject of a movie called 8mm, and it just shows Nicolas Cage walking. Yeah, can't even get through it.
If I remember correctly, it is on World Star, but it's the only video they've ever done where you just hear like a deflated World Star.
Is this view counter in the negative numbers?
I went for $23.
That's not
bad. Hey, that's good.
Wait, hold on. That was $1967.
Yes, I'll say
that's a lot of money.
$27.
That's how we bought half that house.
The half of the house. Yeah. We had 2 separate women go for over $100 because like a boyfriend bought one, and then the other one was like,
bought one.
We got to outbid the boyfriend so that he can't say my girlfriend went for the most. And it was like it was like $106 versus $110, and I'm like, I just don't want to go for $6.
Oh man!
What was the lowest?
I honestly, I think the lowest was like $9.
That's so embarrassing.
Who got 9?
It was honest. I think it was the first or second guy to go.
Middle included.
Full name.
I don't know. I don't know his middle name.
Okay.
It was Greg.
Greg?
I think it was Greg.
Heffley.
No. Leha.
Like,
why do I know that name?
name.
Oh, that's from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This is
Is it the guy that murdered his mom?
No, that's a different person. He was a borderline extra. I looked it up.
Wimpy? I don't think so.
But he's not the wimpy kid. He's another kid. He was kind of the bully.
I can
in
tell.
The thing.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I know.
But no, that's the dad brain that I have, where my reference is like, oh, Greg Heffley, Greg Heffley from Diary of a Wimpy
That's
Kid.
a good name too.
But so who bought you?
My friend Sherry bought me, and it was,
nice.
like the money was going to charity. This was not like, hey, I care about Brad. This was, hey, I feel sorry for this guy.
So
And
what did you have to do to her?
Did you blow her?
I didn't. We went to.
Was it a hover?
Instead of going to like the group Subway party, a different group of us went to a Jimmy John's to get a different sub. That was it. That was our night.
I love the Subway party. First off, I was like, Subway party.
Yeah, no,
that sounds
just
that
the
sounds
big
like
Subway
something that
Those
was.
are the Warriors.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was
Katie
for
was
sure.
I killed Greg. He didn't make it.
I was gonna do a Jared joke where he called them Subway parties, and you never wanted to go to those Subway parties.
This was
This was an example of me being frustrated for being cut off. You know what I mean?
Little City Riffy
I'll
could be
get
the name
a
of
little tally marker out, and I'll fucking do it, dude.
My Warriors joke was good.
I'm in such a bad mood. I cannot express
You
to
should go to
how
a
bad I
Subway
am.
party with Jared.
Yeah, it gets real. I get tired.
Yeah, it's okay.
And he keeps saying it's the tryptophan in the turkey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think it's this thick, syrupy juice you're
Ham
getting.
and cheese. I didn't have
Yeah.
turkey.
I think it's this thick syrupy juice in that syringe you poked me with.
Yeah, and he's like, but it
Sure.
helps. It helps.
Yeah, it helps.
He said it's a Vidalia onion. Isn't that one of their chicken
Probably.
sandwiches or something? I don't know.
We were talking about,
We
last.
gave you the space, and this is what you did with it.
Oh, Katie, go fuck yourself. Wow. My other thing was about Jared, and then I realized that it was too late to go back to it.
That jacket's turning her into
I'm
a bully.
sour.
Yeah. No shit.
I turned sour now.
Fuck me. What bitch boutique did you get that jacket in? Holy shit.
I made it.
Oh my god. I'm sorry I
It came
said
from
bitch. I
within.
don't like to do that.
We were talking about
it's
how
sticky. I touched it and it's sticky.
It's
So cheap and
It's
sticky.
Like soft.
That's
She
not
made it.
soft.
She
Because
made
nothing
it.
died for this.
No,
Just me.
I know that's made
Just
out of
my
old
soul.
trash bags.
we used to have a
They're not
joke.
I don't
that
like
old.
this. This is weird and antagonistic.
We used to
and I
have,
hate
we used to
it.
have a joke that
I'm sorry.
that we
Too
thought
late.
that pleather meant was short for pure leather, which I think
Oh,
is
yeah,
really
I like
I
that,
really
yeah.
got that?
No, but it
Oh.
was fun. It was fun to pretend to be stupid.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then you went.
It's so because it's so sad to.
And then
really
you were
be
going through
stupid.
customs, and they were like business or pleather.
You're like, yeah, pure leisure.
Yeah, pure leisure.
My friend Ashley was over last night, and we came up with the
start
term
home.
like if you're really horny and you need to come, hurtin for a squirtin. What do you think? You want to use it? Do you want to add that to our vernacular?
I said no.
The official Funbearable
vetoed it
dictionary.
immediately. Yeah.
Should we have an official? This will be the first one in the official
No,
Funbearable
no.
dictionary.
no,
Hard veto.
No.
That's
Yeah.
what you would start with your little dictionary with, hurtin for a squirtin.
Yeah,
It's not even.
I think we should use
alphabetically.
hard veto.
Yeah,
I think
hard-
that
Ooh,
should
hard
be
veto.
It's
What's
that
hard
with two
veto?
H's
it's
already.
when Don
Two
Vito
H's.
is erect. It's a hard veto.
Very rare,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
as he gets older,
Yeah.
he's dead, isn't he?
I
Yes,
think
he is.
so.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
So in a lot of ways, he'll never get older.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
he will be hard.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That
then
was a Rick and Morty
very
joke.
soft.
Yes, yes.
And then gone.
You don't like hurting for a
Guys,
squirtin?
I don't feel good about my attitude, and I do genuinely
How
apologize.
can we help? How can we?
Are you
help?
hurting for a squirtin?
I think a time
that
machine
help?
would be
Would
good.
you-
Are you hurting for a
I'm
squirtin?
not hurting for a squirtin.
Like a
You're-
squirt,
you've been
a squirt-
squirting
a
recently?
I'm
squirt-
not
a squirtin
hurting
of
for a
Sinex?
squirtin.
Are you
Okay.
humping for a pumpin'? Because
Humping for a
Hump's got
pumping.
Angling for a spanglin?
Spangling?
That's close.
Are
Hankering
you
for a
thumping for a
spankerin.
pumpin'?
Yeah. You're not hurting for a squirtin? Have you been squirting recently?
I'm fine.
Because your wife had surgery. If you could be careful.
I'm fine in the squirting department. Don't you worry about my
It never
squirting.
hurts for a squirt.
Yeah. Sometimes it does hurt when I squirt. And then my wife is always telling me, like, no, you can't squirt.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, you watch me. And I go, clearly I can. And then a lot of times I'm sweating and defeated, and I go, it's just pee. It's just pee. No, I apologize.
It's okay, we're having fun.
Let me part my own curtain here. Let's peek behind this particular curtain. Yeah.
No, he's hurting for a squirtin for certain.
He's hurting for a curtain.
For certain? Oh God. No, I get like it's been a weird couple of weeks of stressful stuff, and comedy is the thing that is always like the release for me. And I always there's frustrating stuff in the business of comedy, the offstage process of stuff, and I can get really insular on that, and I can fold in on myself and hate myself. But that's fine. But the stage is always like where the fun is, and sometimes it's work, but a lot of times it's just fun. And when that happened, it just like fucked me up, and I'm just in such a bad mood, and I don't know how to fix that. And I apologize for coming to the table on Funbearable being so negative, and now talking about being negative.
No, the Fun Bears love it.
Yeah. You know what I would love to know? I would love to know if anybody else gets in this. When I get angry, like really angry about something that's like more internal, I can't shake it for the longest time. And then often, we were talking about this before, often me feeling angry about something will make me way more mad because I'm just mad that I'm angry.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had this last night. I was thinking about this because there was this woman I've been talking to for a while, and I thought she was going to come out last night to your show.
You thought she would be hurting
for squirting.
Well, I mean, I don't know about hurting, but wanting and
wanting for a squanting.
And the thing is, like,
aching for a quaking.
And there was
aching
for a quaking.
That's
is
a good one.
Yeah. So. Then this is on top of some other stuff, but she was just so inconsiderate about being clear about what was happening, completely just being just very, very, just to say inconsiderate.
She kept calling you going, like, do you see me? Come
find me. At least that'd be fun.
Well, where are you? Oh, I'm going to fuck you. I'm going to fuck you when I find you.
No. You're getting colder.
Not that way.
I'm getting hotter.
But she just has a soundboard
for a quaking.
She's pressing them randomly. But it made me so
I've
mad.
got the vision for a jizzin'.
Oh, no! Too much!
But so I was so mad. You were on stage. I was so fucking mad about how this wasn't.
I was mad too, man.
This wasn't.
Everybody was.
This
mad.
wasn't the first person in 24 hours that was treating me this way.
Yeah.
And I was so.
And I apologized for what
no,
I
not
said
you.
to you.
So fucking mad. And I was like, I'm leaving. I'm getting something to eat. I went to get something to eat. And in my head, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, this means nothing. I won't even remember this in a year. I won't remember this point in time, this person, this night, like whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta fucking snap out of this. And I was mad at myself because I'm like, you shouldn't be spending your mental energy feeling this way, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I know that ultimately I should just be like, fuck this, who cares, and move on.
Yeah.
But you don't have the power to just flush your emotions away.
Right.
You can't control that.
Right. And and it's like it's like the need for this weekend to be just a little bit of joyous fun was very high because there's like a lot of stressful stuff going on. And so the stage was supposed to be like the release of that stress.
I know.
And that show just made the stage stressful. Oh. And like looking at the show that's about to happen in 15 minutes where I'm just like, is it going to be fun? And I have to shake it off myself. Otherwise, if I go up there with this attitude, I'm going to make it this, right?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You decide it's not fun.
That's
right.
Do you think you're going to go full Michael Richards tonight? Do you think that's going to happen? I mean, you have such a controversial like shock comic going on before you.
Yeah, that is true.
I'll warm up the crowd.
She's gonna do her nursery rhyme. Oh no!
She bumps into the stage because she's wearing those big sunglasses.
and
into Ray.
Her closer. I remember last night she was doing her last joke. She's like, I'm gonna do one more joke before that fat piece of shit gets up here. Here we
you
go.
You can see him on what was that fucking little person show?
Little City
You can see him as a tablecloth on Little City Thrifty.
Yeah. And I was standing there like, whoa, where is this coming from? And then she pulled out a piece of paper because she can't even remember her nursery rhymes. I'm like, it's a nursery rhyme, right?
Good.
And then she said, this is fucked up, and I'm not going to finish it. I'm just going to say the first part because, Katie, I don't agree that you do this joke.
It's my closer. What do you want?
Katie Arroyo does this joke on stage.
Right.
She says, when I was a kid, I loved Pooh and Tigger. But now I'm an adult, and then I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to finish that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's stage.
If you go to the south,
So
watch out for
sticky.
a jigger.
Yeah.
You never heard of that bug?
It's
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Ray's face was like,
Cut the mics.
Let it-
Cut the mics.
I meant to say clip it and cut it, and I just said clit it.
Yeah, clit it. That's the next thing in our
Clit it.
dictionary.
Clit it and quit it.
Clit it
Clit
and
it and quit it.
Yeah.
Clit it and quit it.
And you're- yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I keep going like this, and
You
it's
keep
just.
touching my
listen,
non-leather
listen,
jacket.
hold on.
I don't want to touch it.
Is
You
it
guys can
sticky?
touch it for
I
me.
feel like it's
Yeah,
not.
no,
Is
bring your
it?
sleeve over here. Bring your sleeve over
do
here.
you need?
Because
You
I
wanna
want
rub
to get
it?
the audio. You ready?
Yeah.
Right here. Ready?
Oh.
Sticky. It's
Maybe
so
your
sticky.
hands are sweaty.
No, my hands
Yeah,
aren't
he's
sweaty.
nervous.
They're just covered in piss.
Much better. I hate a sweaty hand.
I'm sorry. But Katie, and I apologize because it's a positive thing, and like you're a friend, and then like this weird.
That's why you can behave like an animal this weekend.
But no, like there's a weird like I hate having like an antagonistic thing. You know what I mean? I want it to be welcoming thing.
Well, are you talking about the podcast or the weekend?
Podcast.
Oh, it's fine.
The weekend, you're just lucky I had
You
to
guys,
do it.
I was like, they still pay me, Ray, whether you're nice or not.
No, I know.
So let's ask Katie. I wanted to ask Katie about her idea. I have an idea. And I wanted to see what she thought because you
Okay.
guys didn't give me a lot of support on this, but I think it'd be fun.
On what? On what, Chuck?
No, you're gonna
What
fi-
did we not support you with?
well, you're gonna as soon as I say it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah.
A third home.
So
Right?
well, here's
I'm
what
thinking.
I thought it'd be fun because it's hard for people to sometimes express their emotions really
Okay.
clearly to each other. So I think we should do an episode of Funbearable
Hard veto.
where we do
Oh, this is yeah.
3 mock funerals and we give each other eulogies. So we can find out how we feel about each other.
Okay.
But
But
you're
today,
not
Brad-
actually dead, and no one is actually going to
Brad,
say the truth.
Brad had an
with it.
idea today to add to it.
Okay.
Where we also get to plan each other's funerals.
Okay.
Remember we were talking about this?
I didn't have that idea. I think we made a joke about Chuck planning my funeral
yeah.
in real life.
Yeah.
And about how what I'd be wearing when I was buried,
Well,
Yeah.
you're gonna put
what
him
I was
in.
gonna have.
Well, it was his whole thing.
Completely naked glass casket.
I like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
Still
love
hurting
it.
for a squirtin.
Yeah, and
Can I throw one suggestion?
please.
Also, fill it with Jello,
Oh, okay.
Can I
so you
make
can
a
see it.
suggestion?
I'd also
It's
like
clear, and you can see it inside.
I'd like it glass casket naked, and I'd like it to be a little snug, so we have to really. He's really pressed up.
Wow,
against
look at his
I'd
pressed up
like
dead
it
dick. Oh
if
god.
you would also wear a little scarf.
Okay.
Like, I just think you gotta dress it up.
No, because we went to Pollo Camparo today to get some chicken like we usually do, and she said, "What would you like
Like
for?"
we usually
As you
do.
do.
And she said, "What
What
would
a
you?"
married couple, right? Like we usually do.
Like
And
we
she
do.
said,
Like we
she
do.
said, "What would you like for a side?" And I said,
Brad.
"Beans, the musical
Yeah,
fruit."
well, I'm really hurting for a squirtin',
Yeah.
so
You know, I said
Okay.
beans, the musical fruit, and so Brad came up with this whole idea that. Well, tell him. You tell him.
No, it's all right. So Chuck, we're standing in line, and he sees beans as an option, and he's like, "How often do you say beans are the musical fruit?" And I'm like, "I don't know." When
As
I'm
a
with
full-grown
you,
adult?
with you,
Yeah, as a man.
Every time I mention beans, I say it's the musical fruit.
And so-
Regardless,
I'm
every
so
time.
glad. I'm
We
so
have
glad we're
bigger
not.
problems than my
Yeah.
jacket. at this
100%.
podcast.
I'm glad we're not hobos because it would come up too
I
much.
think if
Every
you said
time
to me,
he packed, you have to hear.
Yeah,
I think if you said to me every time you mention beans without saying it's the musical fruit, I'll give you $1 million. I'd be penniless by the end of the year. I love saying it's the
Just
musical
imagine
fruit.
Chuck in a bomb shelter
my
after the
God,
bombs have
no.
dropped, and it's all the canned foods. He's like, "What do you want to eat tonight?" And
Every
then and then
time.
we're in there and we're like, "Say it, motherfucker! Just say it, say it."
So anyway, what happened?
well, and then it was the idea of planning my funeral, glass casket, etc.
She gave me the wrong side, by the way. I think it's because I said this.
Didn't get the beans.
Good. Well, she's against you.
She's
Yeah.
a smart lady.
And somehow it was my last meal was beans, the musical fruit,
Yeah.
and my parents are there at the funeral, and they're like, "That wasn't what he asked for his last meal."
But then he's farting in the casket.
Hold on. I like the idea that this went from a funeral to also like
An execution.
last rites.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unclear. It's unclear.
Is it an execution or is it a voluntary situation? Right.
Well, and then it was that I wanted pizza from the pizza place I'd worked at, and Chuck's like, "Yeah, I don't know. He just wanted the musical fruit." And my parents are like, "No, he didn't." And Chuck's there eating the pizza.
well, what's interesting is in Brad's scenario, he was farting as he was being lowered into the
Yes.
ground.
I like that that.
I was inside the casket, and you could hear the muffled music.
But in that world, isn't it that he wanted the last food to be the Aurelio's pizza? I said, eat the beans, the musical fruit, and then he eats them and then passes away, right? By the logic of that?
Yeah.
Which is kind of strange that he would just eat them.
All of it is strange.
In his weakened condition on death's door.
I was likely poisoned.
Okay.
With
Almost
the beans.
By the musical fruit.
But so then do you not know it's your last meal? You're just like, I'd really love some pizza.
Yes.
And Chuck's like, how about some beans?
The
So
musical fruit.
let's update the rhyme then. Instead of beans, the musical fruit. The more you eat them, the more you eat. We can change it to a can of legumes will spell your doom. Right? I gotta
Get out
go.
the dictionary.
That's silly.
Can you honestly look at me and say that you don't say beans, the musical
Nobody
fruit?
says
when
that.
you
Are you
talk
ready?
about
Are you
beans?
ready? I do not say
Get the fuck
the
out.
musical
What about
fruit.
you?
No one
You
over
never
the
say
age
the
of like
musical
8
fruit?
says that.
Yeah.
No, I said I only say it when I am with you.
Well, like, the only time I can hear you talk about beans.
Because I know
Obviously,
Say it.
just think of the logic of that statement. That's the only time I could be with you while you talk about beans.
how much
Katie,
glee
let's sneak
Chuck
out of
takes.
the
room.
Please do. Yeah, you
Let's
guys need to
sneak
be
out.
on
Leave
scene.
your
We can
jacket.
just slip into the
Leave your
darkness.
jacket.
They'll
Leave your
never
jacket.
even know.
We're just
at Chipotle, they're like, do you want to eat beans? You don't say like the musical fruit.
No.
Nobody says that.
Chuck, I have an 8-year-old and I don't say this. Nor does the 8-year-old.
Yeah,
My
8-year-old
son
doesn't
Finn
say
does
that.
never.
I
He
say-
never goes the musical fruit.
I say the musical fruit more than I say beans.
Also,
true.
I
Sometimes I'll just
thought
report it as
that
that.
it was musical food. No?
No.
No.
See,
The
now you
musical
don't even
fruit.
know what the
Musical
fuck you're
fruit?
talking. You're
How does
supposed to be
that
Mexican.
rhyme with
It
toot?
doesn't, but beans aren't a fruit.
Also,
Beans
Chuck,
are fruit.
Chuck, calm
I thought
down.
they were-
You just went.
Are you supposed to be Mexican? Are you supposed to be Mexican? How dare you?
You did get so mad.
You're
that you
supposed to
were
be a
fruit.
Mexican?
Oh my god! It was
Mad
insane.
about your musical fruit.
Yes. So now we know the thin line between Chuck being a normal person and Chuck a Nazi. It's just turning that.
Make fun of
You're
his musical.
supposed to say it. Say it, you're Mexican.
You're like,
It's what you
"Fucking
do.
say it, Katie."
It's what you do.
I just
Eat this tortilla.
imagined. I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm just.
When you're in a Chipotle, have you heard anyone else say that?
Well, I'm the funniest one there probably. So.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody is just cracking up. I think everybody's laughing more or less. I think they're just happy to see you out alone and independent. Yeah, he's in Brad. He's with his hand. They always look to Brad like, well, surely this man will pay.
And then Chuck's like, I have 2 homes.
Oh, yeah.
It would show me like the musical fruit, and then it would show it from the outside of the Chipotle with me like this, and Brad in the car.
I have a little card I give to the cashiers. Please
Please just
excuse
go
us.
along
Yeah.
with this. He needs
Yeah.
this.
I have my mittens pinned right here.
That was fun. See, we got there. I like that. I like that trick. Now, what happens if you go to a different? Because you keep saying Chipotle. There are other places.
We did it today. I said it to the woman today, and she gave me the wrong thing because I think she thought
What
I
did
said
she
mashed
give you?
potatoes. Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
I
You
said
think
that's
you
an
said
option?
Magical
At
fruit
Pollo
and she heard
Campero.
mashed potatoes.
at Pollo Campero. It's mostly Spanish speaking that we go to.
Yeah.
So like everyone else there is Spanish, and all the signs are in Spanish.
Okay.
So when she goes like, like
No, they're not.
she's the credit card sign was completely written in
Right,
Spanish.
but like
the
the
credit
menu.
card
no,
sign,
no, the
but yeah.
menu.
Yeah.
No, the mass.
what a fuck.
The
You're
mass-
a liar.
Hold on. The McDonald's sign or whatever, the version of that's like mass produced is in English.
Yes.
But all the handwritten stuff in the place is written in Spanish.
Yes, there was one handwritten sign in Spanish.
And it was like a paragraph.
Yes.
I couldn't read it.
Okay.
But when she said she was
And you can read Spanish, but you refuse, right?
so
you
when she was
Calls Katie.
when she was
you could put it up to his face and he'll go,
In Spanish,
When
the
she was
sign says, all those that order magical fruit shall receive mashed potatoes.
yes. Well, when she was explaining it to us, she was struggling to come up with all the words. So I think when she said, "What do you want for a side?" and I said, "The musical fruit, beans." I think she didn't know what I meant. That's all.
You said musical fruit first and not beans.
Yes.
I'm on this lady's side now.
So you
because this lady is telling a story right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Her lady, that lady did nothing wrong. She's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
I'm just wishing
We know,
that I got
it
beans.
does not need to be said.
You know?
You wish you got beans.
I wish I got beans.
Yeah.
And if you had the beans, you could make a wish.
And if they had the beans, musical fruit.
She just wishes you left.
Yeah. And I did.
She's telling a story right now. Like,
Yeah.
he came in and he asked for something. I just heard mommy.
Yeah,
and then
that's
he
what it was.
smiled
He
so
ordered
big,
a
like he had
fruit.
just done a shit.
Yeah.
And he
I
was
could-
proud of it.
It's one of those things where, someone doesn't expect you to say something like that.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
kind of like, what did he say?
Well, I think she erred on the side of caution and gave
Right.
you the softest food.
She heard the word
So you wouldn't choke.
Yeah, she
You wouldn't
was
choke.
like-
It's like, we better give him the
It's like,
tastiest
can he
food.
chew? Doesn't seem like it. Let's just give him
I
this
wanted to
mush.
say, when I said it, I knew I was risking if I was going to get, the accuracy of the
Yeah.
side, but I wanted Brad to smile, and he
He
smiled.
did. He raised his hand for a high five and then picked up my hand and made it. So he got his high
I
five.
like that even in this telling of the story, you were like, I did it for Brad.
Yeah.
I did it
Like,
for Brad. He had a good smile.
I did.
We had a good
Yeah, it
laugh.
was a great
Then
When
fun.
we go out, I
then
usually
sucked
kind of
down my
lead
mashed
him.
potatoes.
You know what I mean?
He's trying
like-
to teach me how
like
to be
an
a real
excited
boy.
dog
Yeah.
pulling on a leash.
Yeah, like we went out to get coffee today, and they had mocha lattes, and I was like, I'll have a mocha latte, and I elbowed him. He's like, I'll have one too, right?
That's correct.
I'm trying to get him to get out in the world and see
That's
things.
he's
You pin him
Geppetto.
down and shove sinus medicine in his nose.
Magic
trying to
fruit.
teach him.
My nose, if I'm lucky.
If this is going to open up every hole in your body, it's amazing.
Vicks, clear me out.
I've
I'm
just been
worried about the
hovering.
day you come in because it's Vicks branded and you were like, check this out, and the cough drops are Vicks branded. I'm worried about the day that we come in to do a podcast and you're slathering vapor
Yeah.
rub all over your chest and you're like, guys, get
I
in
was
here.
thinking about the idea if I needed some extra cash, if I got a sponsor but didn't tell you about it and just tried to like sneak it into the podcast.
That would be
Really funny.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
That would be really.
I would really
insane.
have to sit down and think about our relationship, and I think I would start in the morning, and I would sit down at my dining room table and just
have
really
some-
think about this. And I would have probably like a delicious cup of coffee,
Oh, really? From where?
probably a cold brew. That's my favorite, and I think the best beans available are Cooper's Cask coffee, which you can get at cooperscasco.com.
Wow, are they magical fruit?
No, they're regular.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just straight up delicious beans. They make a good bean juice.
Pretty great to hear.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, I'll try it
You
out.
should try some right now.
Yeah, I will do
Wouldn't it
that.
be so
Yeah.
funny if I did actually talk to Vix, and that's why I started the podcast that way?
Yeah, I like that.
That would be
idea.
really funny.
That would be fun. We'd be in
Well,
all
I
the
haven't
vapor rub.
announced.
Well, I think
Yeah,
I think
I
we're
have
at
to
that point
go.
because
Yeah.
we have a show
What
that's
time is it
about
right
to
now?
happen.
Game time.
It's 7.
game
It's
time.
6:59. The show doesn't start till 7. We
We're
have a couple
fine. We're
minutes.
fine. Let's get into a story. When you were a kid, Katie, was puberty hard for you?
Did
or-
anybody have magical fruit in your house?
Well, here's
at
the
all?
question: are we all going to walk away from this saying the magical fruit?
No.
I
Hurtin'
think-
for squirtin'. I brought a lot to the
I
table.
think we're all going to walk away from this.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
people are going to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
A, saying hurtin' for squirtin'. B, magical fruit. C, Vicks Sinex Severe as an alternative to Afrin.
I think if people do walk away saying those things, if we have put that out in the world collectively,
We'll be
then
at the
I think
Hague next week.
we have made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. This is not what I set out to do, right? I have become, what is it? The destroyer of worlds.
I become death
I
destroyer.
will
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
I know you said you're not hurting for a squirtin'. Mm-hmm. Have a squirtin' and see if it just eases you up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Real quick, right now.
Can you
on the
just write it
table.
down as like a prescription or something?
Take this with some Vicks.
Yeah. Use the Vicks.
I just hovered. You can use mine.
Ooh, it's numb.
Hachi machi.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
take us out of here.
Katie Arroyo,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
For
Sincerely, we
participating.
really
appreciate
in
it.
this.
Yes, it was so
our,
fun.
One of our favorite comedians and one of our favorite
This is
people.
one of our
Wow.
favorite episodes. There were so many half sentences. There was just
Yeah,
more
yeah.
half sentences than full.
Fractional
I'd say.
sentences.
There was a lot of cut off, like,
Fractional sentences.
it was all, you know what this was? This was a series of joke blue balls. It was just like,
All of us are like, I had something funny to say back in minute 8.
yeah.
Can you guys make fun of my leather jacket again? Because I have
I
a
got a
topper.
good one.
Come on. I think Katie has made it clear we can't call it a leather jacket.
Yeah, it's a
It's a jacket. It's a pleather jacket. Yes. No cows died for it.
Yeah.
Right.
But a couple of shitty car seats did.
Feelings.
A couple of feelings.
Died, a couple of souls.
Oh, no. Well, I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah.
I really do. I appreciate you. You're a funny comedian.
Thanks.
And
so before you leave,
yeah.
I did want to ask you one serious question,
Yeah.
though. So are you a shark or a jet? Because I wanted
Who was the brown ones? Which ones are the brown ones?
I can't wait to see
The
you and
jet?
Brad in the
Brown?
parking lot holding a bandana
Do
with
you
the
not
knife.
know West Side Story? Do you not know?
You are-
Do you not call it the magical fruit or what?
Yeah. Listen, as someone who is you self-describe as Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as a
I mean, my dad does.
as a Latina woman, right?
I should know. I think it's the Jets. Maybe
You
not.
sitting there screaming at me, do you not know West Side Story? Is feeding into so many weird stereotypes, right? Like you just go around wearing that and you're like, I'm going to teach you about this beautiful Hispanic love story. This is what we're doing.
You're gonna learn it.
When you're a jet all the way. Say it. Say it.
Like,
Jet
say
for
it,
life.
gringo.
Eat these fucking beans.
And then she pulled a
And
can
Chuck
of beans.
has more passion for beans than I ever could dream.
Only
of
to
having.
call them the musical fruit. I like that a lot. I think
Musical fruit.
musical fruit.
It's
musical fruit.
musical fruit.
I
Yeah.
keep calling it the magical fruit.
that's good
That's
too.
musical.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up with magical, but you guys would know.
I mean, music is magic.
Yeah.
That's the title of my next album. If our Funbear fans want to reach out to us, they can do so, funbearablepod@gmail.com or through any social media at funbearablepod. Plug your socials.
Yeah, you guys can follow me at Katie G. Arroyo. My podcast is called The Messy Show Podcast.
Yes.
We're on all social medias at Messy Show Pod.
And I think we've proven we're messier. This is the most passive-aggressive episode of this podcast we've ever done.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
So where else can people find you, though? Do you have an email address? What's your personal credit card number?
Yeah.
I'll give you guys my social security number. It's going to be in the show notes.
Yeah.
And,
If people want to send you different leather jackets, what's your leather jacket size?
medium.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe a red one. Stripes. I like stripes. That's
I'd
cool.
love a racing stripe.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
Yeah.
For Ray Harrington
That's me.
and Chuck Staten and our guest Katie Arroyo, I'm Brad Rohr saying sorry for being Funbearable.